lucky.
Who's killing the punks of San Francisco?
57 Magnum, huh? Maybe it's a cop. Either you're for us or you're against us.
Starring Clint Eastwood.
I'm afraid you've misjudged me.
As Dirty Harry Callahan in Magnum Force, Easter Saturday.
Man's got to know his limitations.
10:05.
Beginning this Friday on Anglia, new drama from Ruth Rendell.
It wasn't shyness with me. I was a cold person.
Where is it we're going?
To a little place on the Yorker called La Salle. We might meet Messiah. Come and say hello to your cousin.
I should be lost if anything ever happened to you or the children.
I don't know what I'm afraid of. Perhaps I'm afraid of people.
They were falling in love. I should never have let them go.
Ruth Rendell's The Strawberry Tree begins Friday at 9 on Anglia.
They asked me to look after the overseas clients and the car won't start.
Do you want to take the Fiesta? I'm working from home today.
Okay. Thanks.
This Ford Fiesta has power steering, a 16-valve engine, free insurance, and a little more room than you might expect.
Car won't be ready tomorrow. I've booked you a cab.
The Ford Fiesta. It's much more of a car.
Finish have come up with a different form of detergent. Finish tablets. Brilliant. As they say, all good things come in small packages.
Britain's biggest selling hair magazine has given Organics top marks for being the best everyday hair care product. Organics, the editor's choice for beautiful hair.
He's been here. Time. Knows what I live for revenge.
It's about time you got your own back.
You can't run away from who you are.
Sinner. Is that a threat? He gets me anytime he wants now.
Where do you think he gets the money from?
The conclusion of Band of Gold. Easter Sunday at 9 on Anglia.
Bring him down!
You're a dead man, Sharp. I give lessons in killing, too.
Sharps in action. Wednesday at 8 on Anglia.
Following Magnum Force at 12:25 tonight, there's the romantic comedy The Pickup Artist. Now, the news.
Good evening, welcome to the news and sport from ITN. Tonight's main news, Labour's education spokesman is jeered at a teachers' conference. The husband of the murdered farmhouse woman pleads help find the killer.
And the sports headline, 2 goals from Andy Cole opens up the race for the Premiership title.
Labour's Shadow Education Secretary David Blunkett was barracked and jeered before he spoke at a National Union of Teachers conference today. When he did speak, he appealed to teachers not to take strike action in protest at increasing class sizes.
Mr. Blunkett arrived by a side door in an unsuccessful attempt to avoid the demonstrators. He was soon surrounded and union officials sought refuge in a nearby office. It's rare for a Labour politician to meet any hostility at an NUT conference. Today's events are unprecedented.
What do we want? We want a strike! When do we want it? Now!
Many, but not all of those who laid siege to the office were wearing badges showing them to be conference delegates. Union officials tried in vain to reason with them.
Democracy is going on in there. Because you're not doing any of us any good by simply coming in here and shouting the odds, all right?
The union's General Secretary, visibly shaken, was quick to condemn the protest.
The Union of Teachers is not parted with what you're seeing going on there. It's a deplorable exhibition, and it can do nothing to gain support for education or for teachers.
Mr. Blunkett and his guide dog were eventually released. He said the protest was not representative of teachers.
I don't think in their numbers or the fact that most of them aren't in fact teachers themselves reflect anything except a very small loony fringe.
At his meeting tonight, Mr. Blunkett was given a warm welcome and an apology. The union says it's also considering disciplinary action against any teacher involved in the protest. Harry Smith, ITN, Blackpool.
Fisheries inspectors are still examining the Spanish trawler arrested off the Isles of Scilly on suspicion of illegal fishing with undersized nets. The Royal Navy escorted the trawler into Plymouth earlier this evening. It was met a few miles out by Devon fishermen who also accompanied the vessel into port.
Under Royal Naval escort, the Spanish trawler Quimbote was led into Devonport. The police were also out in force as she came through the Plymouth Sound, and the flotilla was closely followed by a handful of British boats, defiantly flying the maple leaf flag. The Fisheries Protection vessel HMS Shetland arrested her during a routine patrol off the Isles of Scilly. The crew of the trawler are suspected of using illegal nets to catch undersized fish.
This is part and parcel of our normal process of enforcement. We take policing and keeping and playing by the rules of the Common Fisheries Policy very seriously indeed.
West Country fishermen say they believe many Spanish trawlers are illegally catching undersized fish.
The Spanish boats have been plundering our seas for decades. It's a case of if they don't stop, we will have no fish left.
Soon after the trawler docked, she was boarded by fisheries inspectors who began their work examining the catch, measuring the mesh of the netting and interviewing the captain and the crew. Tonight those investigations continue, and in the meantime the Quimbote will remain impounded here. James Bays, ITN, Devonport.
The husband of Janet Brown, the woman battered to death at her home in Buckinghamshire, made an emotional appeal for help today in tracking down her killer. Graham Brown, with his children beside him, said they were stunned and distressed by what had happened.
His wife, their mother gone, the heartbroken remains of the Brown family appealed for help today in the hunt to find the man who's destroyed their lives.
We're stunned and extremely distressed by what's happened. At present, all we can do is to comfort each other and help the police in any way we can. Please respect our need to grieve in private as much as you can. Finally, we'd like to thank the very many friends who have been so kind and supportive in this difficult time.
Janet Brown was handcuffed naked, then bludgeoned to death at the family's luxury farmhouse home. Mrs. Brown had set up a neighbourhood watch scheme to help protect this local tight-knit community. But in this isolated area, no one saw the crime that took her life. This evening, her daughters Zara and Roxanne braved a visit to the house, clinging to each other for support. But they asked to see the spot where their mother was killed. Chris Roberts, ITN, Buckinghamshire.
A 7-year-old boy was killed and his parents seriously injured tonight when a stolen van crashed into them. The family were on a pavement at Barnstaple in Devon when the van left the road and hit them. The driver has been arrested. The boy's name was David Powell. The Sinn Féin President Gerry Adams has said he doesn't expect the IRA to give up its weapons. He said there was little chance of it happening, even in the long term. The British government hasn't responded to Mr. Adams's comments.
Sinn Féin is likely to be talking with British ministers very soon, but Gerry Adams, seen here at his party's annual conference, is frustrated at the delay. It showed today, it was put to him in a radio interview, that there was no prospect of the IRA handing over its arms in the short, medium or long term. He replied, "I think that's a sensible view of the situation." This has been accepted as fact by the intelligence services for some time, but it certainly doesn't make the British government's task any easier. All sides do remain armed, and after the discovery of a cache 2 days ago, thought to belong to loyalists, 3 people appeared in court this morning. One, Desmond Lindop, is from England and is said to work for Royal Ordnance. His elder brother Dennis was charged with possessing and manufacturing weapons. The Northern Ireland office hasn't responded directly to Gerry Adams's comments tonight, but given that all sides here accept that ministerial talks are inevitable, it may be that Mr. Adams is simply trying to call the government's bluff. Tom Bradby, ITN, in Belfast.
Now, it's time for the day's sport with Graham Miller.
The race for the Premiership title in England has opened up again with Blackburn Rovers held to a draw by Leeds United. Brian Deane took 2 points away from Rovers when he equalised Colin Hendry's opener with the last kick of the game at Elland Road. Andy Cole pushed Manchester United closer with 2 goals in a comfortable win at relegated Leicester. So with 5 matches to go, Blackburn's lead is cut to 6 points over United. Both play again on Easter Monday. Ian Wright hit a second-half hat-trick to ease Arsenal's relegation worries, and Mark Steen's winner for Chelsea lifted their hopes for survival as well. A bad day all round for Villa. They dropped 4 places after that defeat, with Coventry and Southampton also winning. But it's still a lottery as to who joins Ipswich and Leicester in the First Division next season. The race to come up is no less exciting, Middlesbrough extending their lead to 2 points. But Brian Robson's side had to rely on a late equaliser from Uwe Fuchs for a draw at bottom club County, and Borough have now played a game more than second-place Tranmere. In Scotland, Rangers completed the inevitable without even playing. They won their 7th title in a row because Celtic, their only mathematical challengers, failed to beat Aberdeen. Leicester's football club may have been relegated, but the city's rugby union side tonight has one hand on the Courage League title. Today's victory over Bath, their only rivals for the championship, leaves the Tigers 2 points clear with just 2 games to go.
With so much hanging on one game, no one was expecting a classic, but the scene was set from the kick-off as the Bath captain Hall took a swing. With the win behind them, Leicester knew they needed a decent cushion to weather the second period. A Jez Harris drop goal helped them to a 12-point lead at half-time. But after that, the game exploded into action. Bath, desperate to hang on to their title, finally broke through. Cat's pressure pass reaching Adebayo. And their second try, scored by Cat himself, brought Bath to within 3 points of Leicester at 24-21. The odds were now swinging Bath's way, but they failed to make the crucial breakthrough. And with time running out, Adams' amazing quarterback throw went spectacularly wrong. Rory Underwood dodged through a dazed defence. And for Leicester, the title should now be a formality.
Just a week after the Grand National and the flat racing season is in full swing, today's richest race, the Masaka Stakes at Kempton Park, was won by the John Dunlop-trained Subia. Jockey John Reed resisted a late burst from the Irish filly Poppy Carew. Cask, ridden by Frankie Dettori, came home third.
The jackpot in the National Lottery this week is over £9.5 million. The winning numbers 1, 4, 6, 23, 26, 49, and the bonus number 8. The organisers say there are 4 winning tickets. The holders will get just under £2.5 million each. And there's just time to remind you, if you need reminding, telephone numbers change in a few hours' time. The main difference, the addition of 1 after the first nought. And that's it from ITN for now, from the two of us and everyone else in the ITN newsroom. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, good evening. Well, the high pressure that has been dominating our weather, that's now moved out, way out to mid-Atlantic there, in turn allowing more unsettled weather to take over, as well as northerly winds to push down over the country. As for tonight, then, mainly dry, touches of ground frost here and there, but rain into the very far northwest, at least later on. So there's that rain as we go into tomorrow morning, along with wintry showers up in Shetlands. Brightness there in the south. Now, by lunchtime, that rain will push down, stretching across, roughly speaking, from Humberside down to mid-Wales, and then pushing ever southwards, down to the far south itself, brightening up behind later on. Watch out for snow on the higher ground in Scotland, wintry showers along with drizzle spilling down eastern fringes there. So as we go into tomorrow, our temperatures are displayed as round about 12 as a high, and that's 54 Fahrenheit. The wind, of course, making it even feel chillier. So with Monday's weather, now it's very much a case of dryness and brightness away from northern and eastern coast. Once again, watch out for these wintry showers along with snow on higher ground in Scotland. The cloud piles up later on in the day, and we see rain moving into the extreme southwest by evening. And that's all from me for today. Good night.
PowerGen, generating electricity for homes and industry, whatever the weather.
And now the region's weather. The night will be mostly dry but rather cold, and a touch of ground frost is possible wet inland. Tomorrow will start dry with a few sunny intervals, but clouds will soon thicken and some patchy rain and drizzle will spread from the northwest in the afternoon and evening. Easter Monday will be a cold day with sunny periods but also scattered showers.
Easter Monday on Anglia and the journeys from hell. Take a front seat with Britain's traffic police to witness some of the most extraordinary, alarming and often life-threatening behaviour recorded on our roads. Every motorist's worst nightmare. Police, camera, action. Easter Monday, 8:30 on Anglia.
It's crunch time for Arsenal. In the European match live, Thursday, 7:20, Anglia.
Next on Anglia, Clint Eastwood is Dirty Harry in Magnum Force.
Right, I've got to go. Can you see Tim?
Cornflakes?
He likes them.
Kellogg's Cornflakes. Delicious flakes of corn drenched in ice-cold milk.
Come on, then.
Here comes the big aeroplane. Yeah. Oh, come on. Daddy used to eat these. They're yummy. You fancy a bit of toast?
Kellogg's Cornflakes. Have you forgotten how good they taste?
The sun, the sand, and delicate skin don't always go together. So does your washing powder leave your family's clothes as soft as you'd like? Some traditional non-bios leave fibres flattened. Fairy Ultra leaves them fluffy and white and feeling really soft. So to be sure of softness that's head and shoulders above the rest, use Fairy, the softer touch for delicate skin.
Inside today's PCs, you'll find something pretty amazing.